Louisville, KY. David Velasquez stew one movie snippet after another more than he cares to remember. A week between games can be measured in dog years for an assistant coach looking for a small advantage to knock down the #1 overall and led his team to their first regional final. Velasquez, who cut his teeth in San Diego State men's basketball as a coach 21 years ago, took some cues from Alabama's game against Houston in December. A week after that, he scored a few points from the Gonzaga match, but he continued to return to Alabama's game against Tennessee in February, a rock fight that the Volunteers eventually won. Rick Barnes' plans seemed to align best with what the Aztecs could copy. Velasquez shared thoughts with his team. He didn't want them worry so much if Alabama's guards went downhill. How he wanted to use the gap defense because protecting the Crimson Tide one-on-one was goal. And Hector and annoyed Alabama had cut backcourt a little. Will be critical. The players listened and understood. They always do. San Diego State practice is about 3 parts defense for an offense. So Velasquez, the de facto defensive coordinator for head coach Brian Dutcher, didn't seem to want anyone to hang the bear here. But after processing all ingots, memorizing scouts, and watching movie, Aztecs collectively came to a very simple conclusion. I mean, Tennessee is really good, said Darrion Trammell with a shrug. But Alabama has never seen anything before. As the Tide exited the NCAA Tournament, 71-64 stealing lunch money, whipping ass, and dancing for San Diego State's first Elite Eight, that seems like a fair assessment. The complex run of Alabama and Brandon Miller, both program and actor, haunted by questions about his involvement in an off-campus gunfight, ended with a whimper. After Miller's possibly last field goal attempt of his career, his 16th miss slipped out of rim on a very forgettable night. As Aztecs roamed field gleefully, perhaps dizzyingly, while Tide made a quick exit, a fan of San Diego State's devoted small but mighty collection didn't yell at anyone in particular. Did this just happen? He looked like the only person in red and black to pretend to be surprised. When asked if his team had just experienced grief, Trammell smiled broadly and did not respond. "Oh, man, they're such a good team," said the tiny guard, who scored 21 points on the Tide. "But hey, March, look for whatever you want. Alabama did not lose. He's been bullied. Really, he's been shoved, poked, thwarted, and beaten." The physique the Aztecs has turned a team full NBA talent, playing with an air defiance that could border on arrogance, and a whining team that had the first weekend in NCAA tournament otherwise filled with sadness. Every San Diego State block, and there were 8, begged for a whistle. At each endorsement, they raised their arms mournfully, wondering where the call was. "I don't know exactly if we were on their minds," says Aztecs veteran Aguek Arop, "but you can tell we're bothering them." Darrion Trammell gets a quick steal and insertion to bring the Aztecs back in 4.